So you hear it all the time, right? Self-driving cars are the future, they're coming. But if you're being really honest with yourself, does the thought of just letting a car drive you make you a little nervous? Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of this whole revolution to figure out what's really pushing us away and, more importantly, what might be pulling us in.
So let me just ask you something straight up. Take a good look. Would you get in this car, kick back, and trust it to handle, say, rush hour traffic? That little gut reaction you're having right now, that feeling, that's exactly what we're digging into today.
First, let's talk about the dream. Because the sales pitch for autonomous vehicles, or AVs, it's pretty incredible. We're talking about a vision of the future with way less traffic, cleaner air, and roads that are just dramatically safer for everyone.
And just so we're all on the same page here, we're talking about the ultimate goal, Level 5 autonomy. This is not some fancy cruise control. A Level 5 vehicle needs absolutely zero help from a human. The car does everything, everywhere, in any condition. You're not the driver anymore, you're just a passenger.
And this brings us to this really fascinating paradox. On one hand, the promise is just huge. Data suggests 95% of accidents are caused by human error, so the potential to save lives is massive. But on the other hand, most people are really hesitant. There's this widespread reluctance. So what's the deal? Well, a really interesting study out of France in 2021 decided to find out.
All right, so the first thing these researchers did was look at the pull factors. What are the psychological perks? What are the things that actually make us want to have this technology in our lives?
Okay, so the most obvious things are the practical ones, right? We expect the tech to work well, to be effortless, save us time, maybe reduce our carbon footprint, and just make that daily commute a whole lot easier. These are the logical kind of check-the-box reasons we might say we want one.
But, and this is where it gets really interesting, the study found something way more powerful pulling us in than just practicality. Turns out our brains aren't nearly as logical as we like to think.
So what was it? Well, this number kind of says it all. The study found that what they call hedonism, which is really just the pure joy and fun of using cool new technology, was over 7 times more influential than all of those practical benefits put together. The fun factor is the single biggest thing pulling us toward these cars.
And as the study's authors put it, we're not just looking for something efficient. We're looking for experiences that bring us well-being, happiness, and other positive emotions. We actually want technology that makes us feel good to use.
But that emotional pull doesn't just stop with having fun. Nope, it's also about our place in the world.
Turns out, social recognition is a huge driver. Being one of the first people to have this new thing, well, it gives you status. The idea that having an AV could make us look cool or innovative to our friends and family, that directly boosts our own self-image and makes us want one even more. Okay, so we're pulled in by fun and looking cool. But what about the other side of the coin? What's pushing us away? Let's dive into the push factors, the fears.
The first and probably the most obvious barrier is technology security. It all boils down to one really simple primal question. Can I trust this machine with my life?
And this fear isn't just one single thing, it's a whole collection of worries. We're worried about system failures, right? Glitches. We're worried about how the car is going to handle something totally unexpected, like a kid chasing a ball into the street. There's the huge psychological hurdle of just giving up control. And of course, the very real fear of some hacker taking over your car while you're on the freeway.
Now, the second major barrier is just as powerful, but it's about a different kind of safety entirely. It's all about our privacy. Think about it. An autonomous car is basically a data collection machine on wheels. It knows your daily routes, your routines, where you work, where you eat, where you shop. So it's really no surprise that people are deeply worried about that data being stolen or shared without them knowing, or just being used to track their every single move.
So you've got these perks pulling you one way and these fears pushing you back the other. What's the tiebreaker? Well, according to the study, it all comes down to a single, incredibly powerful idea: trust.
And here's how it all fits together. That fun factor and wanting to look good, those things build trust. Believing that the car is actually physically safe, that builds trust too. But on the flip side, all those worries about your data and your privacy, they directly break that trust. It's like this constant tug of war happening in our heads.
So you can kind of see the domino effect here. Positive feelings like fun and security build up your trust. Negative fears, especially about privacy, chip away at it. And the level of trust you have directly impacts your overall feeling of well-being about the car. And at the end of the day, that feeling is what makes you decide to get in or stay on the sidewalk.
Trust is the bridge.
All right, so let's zoom out. What does all of this mean for the future of driving? And more importantly, what does it mean for you? Let's bring it all home.
So what have we really learned? First, our decision to adopt this tech is way more emotional than it is practical. Fun is a much bigger deal than fuel efficiency. Second, fear is an incredibly powerful barrier, and it's all about our physical safety and our data privacy. Third, trust is the absolute currency here. Without it, this whole project is going to fail, and that means the companies that win in the end won't just be selling technology. They're going to have to sell a total feeling of security and well-being.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. This isn't about horsepower or features. It's about psychology. What's the one thing, maybe a perfect safety record, an ironclad privacy promise, or something else entirely? What's the one thing a driverless car would need to do to earn your absolute trust?